Topping today's news, we hear from the Ministry of Education as the new school year begins. The police discover a decomposing body near the South Beach canals. Air traffic controllers sign a new industrial agreement, and the Minister of Health gets specific on the new marijuana legislation, making it clear no recreational use. There is a lot of ground to cover this academic school year, and education officials do not intend to simply go with the status quo. Education, Technical and Vocational Training Minister Glenys Hannah Martin, during her annual national address on Sunday, just before the start of the new school year, said education is a human right and is critical to the future of our nation. Add to that, Minister Hannah Martin says officials within her ministry are determined to take a critical look at the country's educational system, assess past outcomes, measure current results, research and study strategies for reform and progress. This, as students and educators still struggle with the impact of learning loss post-COVID-19.
We have clearly envisioned what our public school students must manifest, and therefore, much work is underway to revise, test, analyze, and research strategies and approaches to assure the greatest effectiveness for achieving these goals and objectives. A component of this process is nearing completion, and we expect imminently a preliminary report to be developed to the Ministry from the University of the Bahamas. This preliminary report emanates from research commissioned by the Ministry to investigate factors which impact learning of our children in the Bahamas, and it will assist in the formulation of new strategies and a review of policies so as to maximize student attainment based on the empirical research.
Studies completed by education officials at the end of last year indicated substantial learning loss as a result of the direct impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister Hannah Martin revealed that over 40,000 children at all levels in public schools across the country were tested, yielding empirical data accessible by all teachers. The results suggest 44% of students nationally require intervention.
This is a significant finding, which requires intense and sustained interventions for all students affected. Remediation efforts by the ministry started as early as May of this year in some of our schools, with ongoing assessments being completed to mitigate gaps and foster solutions. The ministry will provide personalized, self-paced, targeted support to address the learning gaps. We will also provide training for parents so they can assist children at home. Students will be pulled out of classes for an hour every day for literacy and numeracy sessions. I urge parents to position themselves on the front line of their children's education and closely monitor their progress and interact more greatly with their teachers. For our part, we will do all that is necessary to help your children, our children, recover and catch up, stabilize and get back on track.
With English and math being core subjects, Minister Hannah Martin says her ministry is commissioning a comprehensive mathematics study which will analyze teaching methods and learning patterns. Add to that, all grade 1 students during this first term will solely concentrate on literacy and numeracy.
This is to ensure that the curriculum at the lower primary level is realigned to meet the critical needs of students to promote mastery of foundational skills. We will monitor the performance of every student with a view of providing targeted support. Every child counts, and no child will be left behind.
That was Education, Technical, Vocational Training Minister Glenys Hannah Martin. Parents of children with special needs will be happy to know that greater emphasis is also being placed in that area, according to Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin. She is proud that her ministry is bringing equitable focus to children with special needs.
This year, the ministry has also recruited more speech pathologists, guidance counselors, and school psychologists to give support to our students and to help them progress and thrive. Also, I highlight the wellness program that started in May of this year that was spearheaded by a dynamic committee of personnel at the ministry to address the needs of the whole child. By introducing a national health and wellness initiative to augment the work of the Guidance and Counseling Department with a goal to provide psychosocial help for students and staff. We are governed by the philosophical commitment that every child counts, and so far as is humanly possible, and given the necessary resources, we will assure that each child is given a fair opportunity to develop his or her potential.
The education minister noting that this year the government has designated classrooms in schools nationwide for the integration of children with special needs. Additionally, 22 new special education teachers have been recruited and posted, while 14 teachers are near completion of their master's degree in special education with Barry University.
We see a decrease in the violence, we see a decrease in the fighting, particularly after school. You know, we've put in place the school busing system where students who catch bus after school, they could be picked up right off the school campus to avoid the opportunity to get themselves into these fights after school. The SROs are in those classrooms preventing incidents before they happen. If they get word of something brewing, a fight, it's going to happen after school, they intervene and prevent it from happening. So we are happy to see that the indicators are showing that school safety is indeed improving. And one of the main reasons for that is the partnership, not only the SRO, but the principals, the teachers, the other security officers, all members of the school environment working together to ensure that school is safe, and we're happy with what we see so far.
Parents of children in junior and senior public schools can feel a little bit more at ease going into this 2023-2024 academic year, as the Ministry of Education, in conjunction with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, adding 27 new school resource officers to campuses following the graduation ceremony last Friday at the police headquarters. Coordinator of school policing and officer in charge of the South Central Division, Chief Superintendent Chaswell Hanna, says since the introduction of resource officers, school safety has improved.
Yes, absolutely. As I said, in addition to the indicators, you know, these kids are looking up to these SROs as mentors. For some of them, they don't have a father figure in the home, which we understand is important. So these kids look at these SROs as mentors, positive role models. So it's all about preventing. As I said earlier, you know, too many of the crime victims we see and the crime suspects are young people, young teenagers. And if we could intervene and divert them from the junior and senior high, in some cases the primary school level, where we see those red flags, we could prevent and divert them from getting into a life of crime. And this is why the school policing program is so important to reducing crime. In all of the junior and senior high schools here in the province, I think it's about 15. We also have it in 5 schools in Grand Bahama, 3 schools in Abaco, 3 schools in Eleuthera, 2 in Andros, and 1 in Exuma. This particular course have included officers from all the other major islands, Inagua, Meguana, Crooked Island, Acklins, Long Island, Cat Island, Berry, Bimini. So we are exploring the expansion and deepening of the program across the Bahamas.
Chief Superintendent Hanna says this cohort is very diverse, as officers have come from all islands to help expand the protection of students while on campuses. With the addition of this cohort, there are now 60 school resource officers across the Bahamas. Chief Superintendent Hanna says in the near future there are plans to expand to the primary schools as well. The decomposing body of a male discovered overnight is being aggressively investigated by criminal investigators. Police say sometime around 8 p.m. on Saturday, the severely decomposed body of an unknown male was discovered in an area near the South Beach canals. As circumstances contributing to the demise of the male are still unknown at this time, police are appealing to members of the public who may have any information that can assist with their investigation into this matter to contact 911-919 or the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, at 502-9991 or 502-9992. And finally, in this segment, the Department of Labor's registration drive for Bahamian professionals got off to a good start on the weekend. The 7-week drive is aimed at getting as many professionals registered with the Department of Labor so they can be better paired with jobs relevant to their work skills. Labor Director Robert Faxon spoke with the media on Saturday at the Department of Labor Carmichael Road location.
We are so pleased that it went very, very well. I can't tell you how much numbers we had so far, but we had a number of persons would have come in, sat with our Public Employment Services unit staff, and registered for the various vacancies. A number of contractors came and brought in their business licenses, brought in their resumes, so we're extremely pleased with that. And then this morning we got some news as well, which really is breaking news. We initiated discussions with the management of the British Colonial Hilton Hotel, which is expected to open by the end of this year. And so we will be finalizing discussions with them for a major job fair that's coming up very, very soon. They want to hire between 200 to 300 persons. And so the public will be advised that in the very near future here an announcement. And they want to hire people at all levels of the hotel. So that's another wonderful thing that came as a result of this job fair this morning.
Since being established in 2016, the Department of Labor database currently has over 100,000 registrants. Mr. Faxon is encouraging all Bahamians to register whether employed or unemployed. He says this will give Bahamians first access to jobs and career opportunities.
I think about 60 to 65% are in the area of handymen and housekeepers and maids. But a significant amount of jobs, I think, are jobs that a number of Bahamians can fill. For instance, right? We need certified welders. We need certified pharmacists. But very few of them are registered with us and that's why we need this registration drive. If more persons who have those skills, who have those certifications, can register with us, then when the applications come, we could turn down the applications and make sure Bahamians fill these positions to encourage and promote our Bahamians that they have the voice rights to fill these vacant positions. But we can only work if we know that you are available. If you register with us and an opportunity becomes available, we can reach out to you and maybe you want to take a new job. But at least if you registered, we'll know that you are available. And it's also going to be important for us to get the empirical data to know how many qualified Bahamians we have in our labor market. That's extremely important for us. So when the foreign direct investors come, we will say to them, no, you don't need to have no foreigners because we have available and qualified Bahamians here.
If you missed Saturday's event, you can visit the Department of Labor here in New Providence or on the Family Islands. You can also register online at www.jobseekersbahamas.gov.bs. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.